and then I'm going to share my screen. I'll just be talking to myself. Now, I won't be able to see the chat during this presentation because I can't do more than one thing at once. So I won't be able to see it, but I will come back to it at the end and have a chat with you guys. So, hello and welcome to my first ever presentation on how I generated £250,000 worth of sales in Q1. And there might be questions, and the whole point of this presentation is to be as transparent as I possibly can, because I want to show you that I didn't ever in a million years think that this was possible for me. And I had people along the way who showed me that it was possible for them, and then it became possible for me because of that. And so I want to show you that in the same way. So if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them in the most transparent way possible. The first thing that I will say is, when I say that I made £250,000 in Q1, I sold £250,000 worth of stuff in Q1 that I will take the money for across the whole of the next 12 months. So I didn't take £250,000 in Q1, but I've made it, it will be coming to me across the year. So I wanted to start out with a little story. I love a little story. Did anybody else watch the marathon yesterday? I'm obsessed with the marathon, guys. Okay, I'm obsessed with it. I'm going to open the chat so that I can see who watched the marathon. Oh, I can't open the chat. You're going to have to give me a thumbs up. Did anyone watch the marathon? Is it just me that's obsessed with the marathon? I can see Nicola giving me a thumbs up. This is just for you, Nicola. If nobody else is giving me thumbs up, it's just me and you, marathon lovers. But yes, I ran the marathon back in 2021, and I will keep on going on about it, because I didn't run a whole bloody marathon not to be able to keep on going on about it. So here I am in 2023 going on about it. But yes, I did run it, and it was, I posted yesterday on Instagram, it was hideous and amazing, both at the same time. Like, the only thing that I've done that is hideous and amazing in equal parts. But yesterday, when I was watching the marathon, I was watching the elite runners, the elite females. Did anyone see the elite woman cross the line? It was the most amazing thing. She was so, like, she couldn't believe it. She was so full of joy. Oh my gosh, I cried when she crossed the line. And the girl who came second was right behind her. And this is the way my brain works. I was like, why didn't she just run a bit faster? She might have come first if she'd ran a bit faster. And she actually came over the finish line and threw up immediately, which just illustrates how much she must have put into the marathon herself. But it got me thinking afterwards, the only reason that she came second was because she had that person in front of her paving the way and being the winner. And we are paced by the people ahead of us who are showing us what is possible for maybe the future versions of ourselves, or maybe just what is possible for anybody out there. And actually, maybe her time wouldn't have been as good had she not had that person to follow. And actually, maybe the person who won wouldn't have done it in such a good time if she didn't have her on her shoulder. And so actually, it's really interesting for me, this whole idea of the people around us are inspiring us to do the things, but they're also spurring us on to do the things. And I find that in business all the time. I just love a running analogy because it makes sense in my brain. But actually, you know, for you at the moment, maybe you're thinking that you want to turn over 5k this month, or 10k, or whatever it is. Maybe it's only £1,000, maybe it's £500, I don't care. But if I can show you that it's possible, that you can do that, and I know that you can, whatever that goal is for you, because I've been there, and I hope that I can make you see that is possible today. So if you don't know who I am, hello, I'm crazy rambling Charlie Day, and I am obsessed with sales. I talk about sales day in, day out. I audaciously claim that sales is easy if you just know how, and I honestly believe that it is. I set up a Facebook group back in 2020, the Entrepreneurs Growth Club. It was just for a bit of fun. It was something to do on the side of my business at the time, which I ran with my sister, called Phonics with Robot Reg, which was a franchised business. We had 54 franchises, and I set up the Entrepreneurs Growth Club as a side hustle. And one thing led to another, and here I am with a whole new business called Charlie Day Sales, because I found an amazing opportunity and a platform to help other people create more sales in their business. I've become an international speaker, an international bestseller with my book, Sales is Easy If You Just Know How. I'm also Lisa Johnson's #1 affiliate. And I just love it. I can't quite believe that I get to call this a job and I get to do it day in, day out. So that is a bit about me, but I am not here today to talk about me. I'm here to talk about you and your goals. So it was the end of October, and I remember it really clearly because I'm all about goals, and if you've heard me speak before, I write my goals down every day. I'm very goal oriented. I'm actually, it's weird to say because here I am sat doing a presentation all about money. I'm not driven by the money. I'm not. I love the money and everything that it brings for me, but actually the whole reason that I wanted to do like this presentation is because what I've realized is you can unlock your goals very easily if you have a path. If you know exactly where you're going, it is a lot easier to get there. And that could be a marathon or a park run or a 10K or whatever, or that could be a 6-figure business. It could be whatever. But my advice for whatever your goal is at the moment is start with the end in mind. What do you want? If you don't know what that end goal is, it's going to be really difficult to get there. But if you know exactly what it is you want, it's going to be so much easier. So much easier. So in 2020, like I said, I set up the Entrepreneurs Growth Club. In 2021, I made 6 figures. I made 6 figures in 12 months. It's the quickest business growth I have ever had. And then in 2022, I made multiple 6 figures. So at the end of October, when I was having this planning session for my goals in 2023, I just had this, like, what if? Like, what if that was the path? And then the other half of my brain's going, Charlie, don't be mental. That's mental. That thought that you're having is mental. But I thought that making 6 figures in 12 months was mental, and I did that. So actually, maybe it's just a decision. Maybe the only thing that's stopping me from being a 7-figure business owner is the decision to be that person. What does that person look like? How does that person show up? What decisions does that person make? And so I thought, well, actually, rather than just plucking a different figure out of the air, I would rather shoot for the sky and give it my best shot and see what happened along the way and learn loads of stuff, rather than not give it a go altogether. And so at first I only told the people in my mastermind at the time that it was my goal to make my business 7 figures in 2023. Unfortunately, the lady who does my PR was also in my mastermind, and she thought it'd be a good idea to send this off as a newspaper article. And then before I knew it, I had this decision to go, oh, do I tell the whole world that I'm doing this? Oh, who am I? Who am I not to? You know, I need that bravery, that courage, and that accountability to say, actually, I'm owning that this isn't going to be easy, and that it's a big jump up. Like 120K was the most I'd ever made in a quarter until this quarter. So that gives you an idea of the growth that I needed in order to get there. But if I was going to do it, I wanted to document it, and I wanted to take people on the journey along with me as well. So could I do it? I had no idea. Was I going to give it my best shot? Absolutely. I decided in that moment that if I was going to do this, I was going to go all in, and I was going to fully commit myself. Now, I am the least woo. I always say I'm the least woo. I'm probably not the least woo. I'm not the least woo, but I'm not that woo. So I'm not one of these people who's going to sit there and say to you, you just need to believe it. You just need to believe and hope and wish upon a star that it'll happen, and it will, because it won't. Ultimately, you're going to need some strategy. You are going to need strategy to help you get there. But before we even talk about strategy, you're going to have to believe that you can do it. So that's my first question for you. If you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. So you might be going for 10K months at the moment, 5K months, £1,000 months, whatever they are. But do you honestly, if you're really honest with yourself, do you believe that you can do it? While I have a sip of water, I'm going to ask you that question. Do you believe that you can do it? People are still joining me. I'm loving this on a Monday. So the first thing that I needed to do in order to see if I could make £250,000 in the first quarter was to break it down. And that was the simple part. I could make the numbers fit. Anybody can do that, right? And so here's how I did it. This was my plan for January. Now, I know January and September are my biggest months. If you don't currently know what your biggest months are, that is definitely something to work out, because you're going to be able to plan your year based on when your ideal client are going to be buying. So when I sold phonics with Robot Reg franchises, August was our biggest month, because people would leave the classroom to buy our franchises, and it was in August that they were at home with their kids and they'd realised that they wanted to buy. So knowing when your most popular months are is really key. So January for me is a massive month, so I planned for it to be bigger than ever. I'd never done a £100,000 month before, but I knew I was going to have to get to this goal. So I've got the Entrepreneur Sales Lounge and the Success Cell. I launched my Mastermind, which is a 10K product. My passive income for the month, which is built up of evergreen things that you can buy directly off of my website, downloadables, things like my follow-up spreadsheet, how to sell in the DMs, just things that you can buy off my website that I don't have to deliver, they're already there. And I also launched my sales course as well. So January brought in a total of 135,000. February was a quieter month. Obviously, I had done a lot in January, and also I was launching in March as well. So in my plan, February was part of building my audience, not selling to them, giving them value, and building that back up again so that I could sell to them again in March. So again, the Sales Lounge brought in 5K. It does every single month. I launched a couple of in-person days, which sold really quickly. I could have probably done more of those reflectively, but hey ho, I'm not here to reflect. Passive income for the month, 7K, that's my goal. So that's what I'm always, when I talk about selling in the DMs, that is usually what I'm selling, unless I'm in a particular big launch. I also took on 2 one-to-one clients. Usually when I open my books for one-to-one clients, I don't actually advertise it, because I already have a list of people who are interested in working with me one-to-one. And so in February, I took 25K. And then in March, again, Sales Lounge, Supercharge Your Sales Live went on sale, and I got some amazing sponsors and exhibitors, as well as selling a lot of tickets for that as well. And then I did an affiliate launch. So you can see how I've broken that down into January, February, and March to bring me to 200. I thought I had the final total there. It's £259,000 for Q1. So when I broke this down, when I was planning it out in the whole year, I then brainstormed. So I was like, okay, here's the amount of money that I want to make, £250,000. That went £9,000 over, so brilliant. And here's what I think is missing in order for me to get there. If I had done exactly what I had done in 2022, I would have got the same results that I got in 2022. And so I knew that what I needed to do, the missing gap, was something that didn't exist yet. If I was to continue on the same path, I would get the same results. So after I'd done the plan, I had a really honest conversation with myself. And I said, what do I need to change in order to get these results? And I'm going to go back over these, but I'm just going to quickly skip through so you can see all of the things that I came up with. I needed to grow my audience more. I needed to have more leads. I needed to make more content. That's how I sell. I sell on social media. So in order to make more sales, I was going to have to create more content. I needed to have more conversations with ideal clients. For me, I always talk about this, conversations equal sales. So that was going to be key. I needed to grow my team. I wasn't going to be able to do this alone. I needed to be intentional with my time. My time's my biggest currency, so I needed to make sure that whatever I was doing, I was being super intentional. I needed to not stand in my own way, and I needed to take massive action. So you can see there's quite a lot of things that I listed that I was going to have to do in order to get these results. But like I said at the beginning, if I had always done what I've always done, I'll always get what I've always got. So recognizing what needed to change was huge. So growing my audience is something that I've always, I think I'm quite numbers driven because of the sales stuff. So I always set myself new targets within my audience growth. So growing my audience has always been on my radar. And it was just a continuation of that. I went back through everything I did in 2022 and I sort of audited my audience growth and had a really serious conversation with myself again about what worked and what didn't work. The number one thing that has worked for me in growing my audience is guest speaking expert slots. Anyone wants me to come and speak in their guest, be a guest in their, you know what I'm saying. If you want me to be a guest, book me, because that's what works for my audience growth. That and podcasts. So knowing what works for you is going to help that audience growth. What we don't want to do, and this links into being intentional with our time, is do things that aren't serving us, that aren't bringing us the results that we want. Make more content. This was a huge thing for me in 2023, and you've probably heard me talking about it because the way social media is going, I think we all need to be pumping out more content. I've been working with Audrey. I was working with Audrey throughout 2022, so that isn't different. Audrey helps me create my content and she does all my social media for me. But obviously I am the voice behind my social media, so I do a lot of my social media as well. We work together as a team to create that content. But I worked with Audrey on a plan as to how we could create more content, reach more people, and therefore make more sales. So that looked like analysing our social media and really understanding what was working and what wasn't working, and crucially, what was making us sales. Because for me, that's the most important thing. Having more conversations. This is a bit of a weird one because it takes up so much of my time having conversations. And what I hear people saying is the more successful that they get, actually the less conversations that they have, because they don't do things like discovery calls, or they don't get busy selling in their DMs. And this isn't something that I've done. I think because I talk about sales all the time, I love sales. That's why I'm here talking about this right now. So it'd be weird for me to stop doing that, because it is what lights me up. So actually, whilst I probably do have less discovery calls, I only really do discovery calls for my mastermind or my one-to-one. I have so many conversations in my DMs and I convert so many sales in that way. And so part of my growth for 2023 was to be really intentional with my time, so that every single day I had enough time to have those conversations and make those sales. Grow my team. This was a huge one for me as well. Not only did I have to grow my team, I had to make massive changes, which felt really uncomfortable at the time and were quite scary. I don't know if it's like an entrepreneurial thing, but I am shit at delegating. I want to do it all. I'm such a control freak. I'm like, I could do it all. Like literally, I don't need your help at all. I can do everything. It's not the case. I can't do most things that well, but I had to design a team that was going to really support me and help me to get to where I needed to be. And my biggest advice to anybody who feels like they're on the cusp is hire a team before you need one. Get a VA before you need one. Because if you wait until you need one, it's too late. You don't have time to onboard them or to tell them what to do or any of those things. And that's when you fall into this trap of, I'll just do it. It's quicker if I just do it rather than delegating, because actually I know what I'm doing. I've done it all before. Whereas if you want to have growth that's not stressful, hire a team before you need one. And I've talked about this before, so I'm sorry if I repeat myself, but it's a really good exercise. Write down everything in your business on sticky notepad, sticky notebooks, and divide it out into 3 columns. Like, what do you 100% need to do? Like nobody else could do it. So delivering your trainings and all the stuff that you're a specialist in. All of those things go in 1 column. Then in the other column, the things that you hate doing, the things that don't light you up, the things that you hate doing about your business, you put all those in the column. And then the middle column is things that you don't mind doing, but they could be done by someone else. And then I started by outsourcing the things that I hate. And slowly, I have outsourced pretty much everything up until the point where I'm only doing the things that need to be done by me and that really light me up. Be intentional with my time. I've always tried to do this, but I thought it was really key to mention in this presentation because hard work looks different for different people. And I see so many people working really, really, really hard and not getting any results. And the reason that people are doing that is because they're not being intentional with their time. And they're doing things that they deem important, but they're not that important to generate sales in their business. So many people say to me, oh, Charlie, this week I am going to focus on getting my website in place. Like, I want the design of my website to just be so cohesive and beautiful, and then I will make sales. No, it's a procrastination exercise. Unless you're like a website designer or something, I will not have it. Just get out there, take messy action. Let's make some sales, and we'll tweak things as we go. Be intentional with your time in order to get to the goal that you know you're trying to get to. What is going to help you to get there? What can you do today that's going to help you take a step towards that goal? And not stand in my own way. This is a huge one. Mindset is gonna be the #1 thing that stops you from getting to your goals. Again, going back to like, if you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. You need to believe that you can. You need to stand behind your product or service with unwavering faith and just be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to smash this. And actually, other people around you might be like, are you sure? Are you sure you're going to be able to do this? I'm not sure, but you're like, yeah, I can definitely do this. Take massive action. This is something I write down in capital letters, weirdly. How weird is that? I've only just noticed. I write it down in capital letters every single day. It links into being intentional with your time. You've got to take massive action. Usually, the one thing that you don't want to do, that you keep putting off, is because you're scared of it. That is the thing That's gonna be where the magic happens. And for so many people, that is sales. And that's why, you know, creating content, sorting out your website, writing emails, it's very comfortable. It's like, yes, I can do that. It makes me feel like I'm working really hard, and it fills me up with like, yay, I can do this, woo! Whereas going to sell to people, cold messaging, putting stuff out there, following up, all of that is not comfortable. And that's what we avoid. So every day, when I write down take massive action, I challenge myself to think, what is the one thing that I really don't want to do at the moment? And I start with that thing. So what is that for you? So back in October, I wrote this down. I stuck it to a post-it note. If I always do what I've always done, I'll always get what I've always got. It's my favorite quote, and it's so true. So ask yourself today, what do you need to do differently? If you don't change something, the results aren't going to change. If you want different results, you are going to have to take different actions. You're absolutely capable of anything you put your mind to, and you can have fun along the way. This does not have to be hard. And so just to finish, I'm obviously going to tell you how you can work with me, obviously. I'm Charlie Day, sales. But just to finish this, just to finish this with a story that you might resonate with, right? When I started the Entrepreneurs Growth Club, like I said, it was just a side hustle. I never dreamed in a million years that I would be here talking about how I could make it into a 7-figure business. That is insane. But in June 2021, I made £250. I made £250 out of a Facebook group that I started for fun. And it was at that moment where I thought to myself, oh my gosh, if I could make £250, I can make £500. And if I can make £500, I can make £1,000. And it just started from there. And so here I am talking about big sums of money. And I remember when I first started out in this online arena, I heard people say stuff and I was like, that's not me. I can't make £100,000 in a month. I can't even hear that. Even now, it freaks me out a little bit. But £250 in a month was like, I could believe that I could make £250 in a month. But I almost just needed that foot in the door to make the £250, to make the £500, to make the £1,000. Like, let's see a staircase ahead of us that actually anything is possible. You could go out tonight and make 50 quid out of your Facebook group or out of your email list. If you just ask for the sale, if you just put your offer out there, like I tell everyone to, 6 times a day, if you follow up consistently, if you do all the things I tell you to, you can make whatever money you want to. But you've got to actually do the things. We can't just sit here and talk about it. We've got to take action. And being held accountable is everything. And so put it out there. In fact, when I come back into the chat afterwards, I'll ask you, put it out there. How much money do you want to make next month? And there's no stupid answer. If that's £250, go you. Go you. Because that £250 was awesome. And if it's £250,000, also go you. That's awesome. Well done. I'm all about working smarter, not harder. People say to me all the time, you seem like you're working all of the time, which I think I'll take it as a compliment because I feel like I don't work that much. But when you love what you do, it doesn't really matter whether you work loads or you don't work loads because I just love what I'm doing. But just make sure that you're being intentional and you're taking massive action. If you feel like you are pumping everything into this and you're not getting the results that you want, you don't necessarily need to work more. You just need to change what you're doing in order to get the results. So what are your goals for the next month, for the next quarter, for the rest of the year? Are you on track? to get there. When I started at the beginning of this presentation, I talked about starting with the end in mind. I do this every year and I break it into quarters, months, weeks, and even days. I am on top of my sales targets on a daily basis. Nothing happens by accident. If there are people out there trying to convince you that they do, they're lying. I'm here to call them out. It doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen by accident. Nobody is having 10K months or £1 million a year by accident. It's all very intentional. And you can start today with that, you know? Maybe you haven't had a plan in the past, but you can start with a plan today. So write down, what are your goals for the next month, the next quarter, the rest of the year? Go and map that out. Look at last year's numbers. Can you double them? Can you go up 20% on last year? Can you at least match last year? I reckon you can do more. You can definitely do more. How much more? Let's challenge it. And my goals are always super high. I almost like, and this depends on what sort of a person you are as well. So you know you. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm just telling you what I do. I want my goals to be like really big because it spurs me on, like the girl in the marathon. My goals are the girl in the marathon pushing me forward. But I actually put a bronze, silver, and a gold goal in there. So my bronze is something that I know I'll achieve. My silver is like, that would be awesome. And then my gold is like, that's next level. I will probably never make it, but just by putting it there, there's a chance. And often I have hit that gold goal just because I put it out there. I used to not do that. And what I found was whatever my goal was, I hit. And I didn't want to do that. So I put 3 goals in. But if you are the sort of person who having that gold goal will stress you out and you won't be able to sleep at night, don't put it in. That's not going to help. You know you, and you've got to create what's going to work for you. But there is no point in just writing those goals down, sticking them in a drawer, and then la-di-da, off we go with the rest of our life. No, you need to keep on track. Are you, like I said at the beginning, so we're at the end of April, we've only got a couple of days left. Are you hitting your sales targets? Did you even have sales targets? If not, why not? But the good thing is we're going into May. It's a new month, so we can create some sales targets. We can decide exactly what we want, break it down, how we're going to get there, how many people we need to reach, how many inquiries we need, what activity we need to do to get those inquiries, to make the sales. Simple stuff. Okay, let me drink. I am opening the doors to my success cell, which I only ever do twice a year. The success cell is my accountability group. So I have my mastermind, which launched in January, which is 12 months, launches every January. And I have also my membership, and the success cell is in between those two things. So you get loads of access to me, you get my eyes on your business, at a more affordable price than my mastermind. So I know loads of people have been asking me about working with me, and this is a great option for you if you want to work to get your sales to the next level. You want me to hold you accountable, you want to set sales targets, you want to get serious results, then this is for you. So each month in the success cell, you get all of the access to my membership. So in my membership, you've got a library of trainings. There's a Facebook group with a whole community of people in there. I do sales training every month. And also we have a guest expert every month. We have a follow-up session and we have weekly coffee mornings. But my success cell get a hot seat session with me every single month. It's a maximum of 20 people per session. You get an implementation session each month as well. So we turn up on Zoom and I tell you exactly what action we're going to take. Talk about taking massive action. I actually sit you down and make you take the action. And we do it live on a Zoom so that any problems we come up against, we can brainstorm them and we can move forward. You get a WhatsApp group with me, so you've got on the go advice from me, and also everybody else who's in the success cell is there to support each other and encourage each other as well. As a member of the Success Cell, you get the chance to host guest trainings in my membership and coffee mornings. So twice a month, I'll have a guest expert who hosts coffee morning. So you'll get the opportunity to grow your network and grow your community as well, and use my community as a platform. You also get a one-to-one with me every 6 months. So I know exactly what's going on in your business, and I also know what your goals are so that I can push you forward and help you to get there. Also, I'm going to open the doors to the Success Cell for the next 7 days. It's £1,200 for 6 months, or you can pay monthly for £220. So it really is an affordable way of working with me, considering that my mastermind is £10,000. And everybody who comes in the next 7 days, I'm going to give them a ticket to come to Supercharge Your Sales Live, which is taking place in Birmingham on the 15th of June. So everybody who comes into the Success Cell and is a part of the Success Cell will get an opportunity to come to that as well. I get absolutely amazing results for the clients in my Success Cell, and I'm going to be interviewing a few people over the next week. So if you're interested, you can chat with somebody who's in the Success Cell already, or you can watch one of those interviews. But I absolutely loved this testimonial. I just wanted to tell you what happened when I stepped up and worked with Charlie. I made back 7 times my investment within the first 30 days. I was a bit of a wimp when it came to selling, but having Charlie in my corner has meant she's also in my head. I hit 19 people on the beta program of my ADHD Brains in Business program, which I can categorically say I owe every single sign up to Charlie, because I was ready to chicken out. And when Charlie told me to keep going, I'm now focused on my numbers and making sales like never before. And I get testimonials like this all of the time, because what happens when we start focusing on the sales in our business, and when we break down those barriers, the things that we're scared of, that's when the magic happens. And what I find is having a group of people behind you supporting you to take that action makes it so much easier. If you do have any questions, then I am here to answer them. Do follow me, connect with me. If we haven't chatted before, I would absolutely love to have a chat with you. Come and follow me on Instagram or TikTok, or if you're not part of the Entrepreneurs Growth Club, then why the heck not? You need to come and join it. I also run the Entrepreneurs Growth Club podcast. I would love to connect. Thank you so much for watching, for giving up your Monday night. I hope it's been useful. I hope that I have made you realize that anything is possible. I would absolutely love to work with each and every one of you, and get you some amazing results. Hopefully Audrey, oh yeah, there she is, has dropped the link to the sign up for the Success Cell. But like I say, if you have any questions, you could pop them in the chat. Before we go, tell me right now, what's your target for May? Put it in. You're not allowed to go anywhere until you've written down your target for May. I want to see it. Thank you so much for joining me. Yes, loving this. 3K, 350K, 40K, yes, 6K. My target is 1K, £300. Yes, 7K, 2K. Right, guys, I want you to promise me one thing. When you hit this, you have to come back and tell me. You have to come into the Entrepreneurs Growth Club and tell me that you've done it. Yes, love this. Amazing. 2K, £500, £1,000, 5K. That £3, Jazz, or 3K? Either way, I'm here for it. 250, oh, 3K. 2K, 5K. We can do this. It starts with you. Will you run this in the autumn or the winter? I will open it again in November. Probably. My business is just in the making. Amazing. Thank you. Any questions at all, pop them in and I can answer them. When should newbies get in touch to progress? No business yet. So what I would say is, if you're just starting out in business, then the success cell definitely isn't right for you. It's not for somebody who's just starting out in business. If you're starting out in business, then the Entrepreneur Sales Lounge, which is my membership, would be the place to start. And what I would say is, if you are starting out and you're doing all of this groundwork now on sales, then that is absolutely brilliant, because you're going to lay the foundations so that you're building a business with a sales strategy that works. I started my first business when I was 21 with absolutely no knowledge of sales. I didn't even know what sales was. I just stupidly thought I would open a business and everybody would come flocking. Not the case. If I could go back now to my 21-year-old self, then I would definitely have invested a lot of my time and money into the sales in my business, because without sales, you don't have a business. Like, that is what's stopping you from being a business, is sales. You could go out tonight and put an offer out there, go and tell people what you offer, ask for the sale, set up a Stripe link, a PayPal link, whatever, take the money and get started. Woohoo! You're a business owner. Let's go. Let's make sure your sales are in the right place. So if somebody wants to work with me, but the success cell isn't the right place for them, then the membership might be a great place to start. The success cell is really for people who are ready to take massive action and have recognized that they're ready for the next level of growth. Can I spam business on Google or Facebook and just DM them with my offer or email and then follow up a couple of times? No, I would not recommend doing that in any sort of way. I don't think cold messages work. I think they are a waste of time. I actually think that they put people off buying from you, and I wouldn't recommend anybody doing that. What I would recommend doing is going out there and finding leads, finding people who have the exact problem that your product or service offers, and going and creating a real relationship with those people, and then position your offer as an absolute no-brainer for them to buy. That's when people are going to stop and listen. I absolutely hate cold messaging, and you will never find me telling you that that's a good idea. There's so many better ways of doing it. How many are in your team and what roles they have? So I have quite a small team. I have Audrey, who's right there. I can see her on my screen, who does all my social media. I also have a lovely lady called Kim, who's my online business manager. I have got Sue, who is my community manager, and I've got Jenna Farmer, who does all of my PR. I've also got an accountant, and that's it. So we're a small team, small but mighty. Then I will go back to your last class from my emails and my group. Thank you so much. Yeah, and the other thing is, Adriana, is there are leads all around us. All of the time, there are leads. Even if you're just starting out, those leads might look like friends and family who are connected to other people who might have the problem that your product or service caters for. So actually, we don't need to cold message. What we need to do is we need to go out into our already existing communities and really immerse ourselves in there in order to find those hot leads. That's what we need to do. And that's how we're going to be able to convert them into sales. Fabulous. Any more questions? No, we're all ready to go out there and smash our sales. Woohoo! My new business is a couple of months and I've been doing a lot of work growing the audience, but yet to make any sales. Would this work for me as my business is new? Naomi, feel free to send me a message. I have had somebody who came into the last cohort of the success cell was just starting their business, but they had they wanted to grow really, really quickly. So it depends what your goals are. And I would love to know why you haven't made any sales yet and what's stopping you from making the sales. But if you send me a private message, then I can definitely give you more information about your individual situation. My follow-up spreadsheet is, that's a good question. Sorry, I can see Audrey's little face there. Not a clue. I will post the follow-up spreadsheet into the Entrepreneurs Growth Club for anybody to buy. It's £99, comes with a training if you want to. Oh, have you found a link there, Audrey? No. Oh, is that the link to the Entrepreneurs Growth Club?
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, wow, you've really outdone yourself there. But yeah, I will post that next. The new success cell is going to start next Tuesday. So I'm going to keep the cart open for a week and then we're going to go straight into it because it's May and we can get cracking. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I've had such a lovely time. Oh, I love a little masterclass. Make sure you stay in touch with me, whether you decide to work with me or not. I definitely want to stay in touch with you all and find out what amazing progress you make with your sales. So thank you so much for joining me and I will see you all soon. Thank you so much.